Okay, I see people put up these videos of themselves under some really strange circumstances, like they're looking for notoriety or fame or that kind of thing. Well, I hope you know that I'm doing it for slightly different reasons. Let's hope so anyway. Okay, well, I'm at a bar, actually a pub and grill called The Break in West Valley City, Utah. And I told you that I don't usually drink beer, occasionally, but it bloats me too much. Well, this is what I drink, and I've told you before. It's called a press. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what it is. Hello, everyone, as you come in. Hi, Miss Cat. And this one here is a pomegranate ginger. If you can see that, it's my favorite. It really helps to settle the stomach, and it's not, really nasty on you. Anyway, I thought I'd come up here and show you a 360-degree pan of this area of the city, and let you see that I really do come out and do these sort of things. So let me turn this around, and then we're going to discuss just a little bit about why relatives and loved ones are permitted to come and visit you. I see a lot of people saying, well, the Bible says they're asleep in the earth, they're dead, they have no consciousness, and no, it doesn't say that. Those are incorrect translations, misinterpretations, and we're going to talk about that. I can tell you for a fact that if you're not conjuring up or doing a seance or practicing necromancy, yeah, then you can get a problem. But not when the God and the person involved agreed to abide. The person agrees to abide by the parameters. Of course, they would the rules that God sets for those types of things, and we're going to talk about that. But let me show you the area here first. Okay, here we go. Okay, over there, that's called the Maverick Center. That's a big arena. They do ice hockey in there and a lot of other things. A couple of months back, when they started setting up the GMI points, that's the place I was over there, and it's still over there, but it doesn't get many people now. Utah is one of those that hasn't really followed suit with this whole thing. So let me go ahead and show you this. That's looking north up towards the center of Salt Lake City, and the University of Utah is right about the center of the picture there. You can see that U maybe on the side of the mountain there. That's right where the university is. And let me just pan out here a little bit more so you can see a little bit more. As a matter of fact, this building right here, Hook and Reel, right there, it used to be a Chili's. And that's where I took Carol on our first date, right there. It was a Chili's. That was where we went for our first date. So it's kind of nostalgic and sentimental for me to see it. I'm sorry it's not a Chili's anymore, and I've never been in there since it's changed, but at any rate. So now we're kind of looking east, and now we're kind of looking southeast, and you can see Mount Olympus there that I've talked about several times now. You can't see much more because this Country Inn and Suites here kind of blocks it. But I wanted to kind of give you a little panorama of it so that you know. This is looking southwest out towards Kennecott Copper Mine, South Jordan, West Jordan, that area there. And this is a roof patio that they have here. This is actually the first time I've been up here. I've only this break. Usually I go to the break in South Jordan. That's where you usually see me, down where they have the bands playing. But I've come here maybe once or twice, but this is the first time I've actually been able to get up on the patio. And so we're going to be up here all night, actually. I plan on being up here after the sun goes down. And I'll show you a night shot of the city then, so you'll be able to look forward to another little presentation at that point in time, just so you know. Okay, well, let's sit down here and let's have a little chat about this necromancy thing, because there's a reason why they want to tell you that your loved ones won't visit you. There's a reason why they tell you that. So let's go ahead and switch this around. Oops, cover the camera again. All right, sorry. I have to kind of get in the shade just a little bit, if that's all right with you all. Okay, no, there is no catch on a forbidden contact from loved ones or anybody else for that matter from the other side. It depends on the reason, it depends on a lot of factors. Most of the time when people say that you're dead in the ground and that you're unconscious and have no knowledge, that you know nothing at all, they're quoting a thing out of Proverbs by Solomon. And in reality, what it's saying is that there's no consciousness of this world. That's what they're talking about. They basically they remember it, most likely, but they don't have anything to do with it. So there's no conscious memory of what's going on in this world. It all shifts to the next one. Now that depends on the individual. It depends on their spirituality. It depends upon a lot of the things that they've done. Depends upon where they are in the hierarchy of they haven't been judged yet, although we're going to talk about that may not be true either. That's really what it's about. So when it says that they know nothing at all, it means that they don't know what's going on here now that they're not here anymore. That's what it's saying. So that's been taken by the Jehovah's Witnesses and some of these hardcores that want to scare you that you have no consciousness after you die. That's not true. Okay, it's not true at all. Now, what are some other scriptures that prove that? Well, before we go there, and I don't have my Bible with me, I'm doing this from memory. Let's talk about the situation with the resurrection. I talked to Felicia Lockhart about this about 2 weeks ago, right after Bettina died, as a matter of fact. And you got to remember the thing about the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the Aleph Tav. Remember, it's a circle. It's not linear. There is no time there, and in reality, you're not. The time here is a construct of gravity and some other things. It's not really an illusion, but it's kind of a temporary state, which is in itself kind of an oxymoron. And I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you this: that everything does happen at once. And where God is, there is no time. So for him, the resurrection isn't in the future. It's already happened. It's occurring now. And I can give you some examples of that. If you believe in the New Testament, it talks about when Jesus was resurrected, he was the first of the fruits of the resurrection. And yet we heard about Elijah resurrecting the dead some 500, 600 years before. Enoch, the same thing, stuff like that. But I'm going to lay off of those for a minute, and we're just going to talk about at the moment of Jesus' resurrection. Remember, it's said that upward of many hundreds of saints came out of their graves and visited some 2,000 people to testify that they had been resurrected. So there we are with that resurrection thing, and it's already started 2,000 years ago. The resurrection isn't in the future. It's now. Okay, it happens now. Time is immaterial, is irrelevant in the realms of God, and so the resurrection occurs basically right away, in my estimation. Now there are some other problems with that, and I don't want to get into it. Certainly the wicked. It talks about the first resurrection and then the second resurrection and all that, and I recognize that. An example of that is the bones that they found at Qumran of all of those ascetic Essenes who lived the law perfectly, at least they claim they did, and yet their bones are still, many of them are still lying in the gravel graves there. Of course, we're not the judges of those people, and it might very well be that those are some of the ones that didn't get resurrected. But the point is that in the scripture, in the New Testament, it says that there was a resurrection, and that upwards of 2,000 resurrections occurred or something like that, and they were seen by some 2,000 people or something. I forget the exact quote. So that's the first one. Again, what's forbidden is what Saul did with the witch of Endor when he went to the witch of Endor and told her to he was disguised, and she finally recognized who he was and then thought he was going to kill her, but he told her to bring Samuel up, the prophet Samuel. And if you read that, what happens is that the witch of Endor does her little thing, and she sees Samuel coming up, and his first words are, "Why are you disturbing me? I'm at peace here. Why are you calling me up?" And the witch of Endor was asked by Saul, "Well, what else do you see?" And she says, "I see gods going up and coming down." In other words, people are going in and out of this place. Okay, and in this situation, Saul is talking to the witch of Endor and giving a message Samuel is talking to the witch of Endor and talking about Saul's future, etc. The important thing to remember here again is that what this would be like is disturbing your neighbor, and this is one reason why it's forbidden. You have somebody over there who wants to be left alone. Let's say in this world you have a neighbor and they don't want you knocking on their door. Okay, that's the rule, but you go over and you knock on their door anyway. They're going to be a little upset at you. They're going to come, probably. They don't have to, but they could come to the door. And in this case, Samuel came to the door and said, "Why are you bugging me? Get out of here." Right? So that's how these things are very real. They're very real like that. And again, like I said, the witch of Endor could see people coming and going. So there's an example of Samuel having consciousness in the next world and being able to communicate. There are also things in the apocryphal scriptures about visitations and things like that, and those are actually quite common. So I wanted to bring those up. Again, there are communications between the next world and this one. Whether the judgment has happened yet because of this situation with the time, apparently not. Apparently that is at a set, fixed spot. But as far as people being resurrected and all that can be going on right now. Okay, the first resurrection and then the second resurrection, and the scriptures talk about the first resurrection of the righteous, and the second are all those who have to wait until after the 1,000 years. Well, all of that's just saying that it's separated, but how exactly we don't know, and I don't want to get into that. But I think I wanted to point that out to you all because these are false to tell people that they can't. If a loved one really needs to comfort you, what is the comforter? Jesus said, "I will send you the comforter," and we saw one in the video that I was doing on the tribute of Bettina, and it came, right? And there are several that are working on that. Texas girl on Twitter is doing a real fine job, as is Michael Powell. And I didn't ask him to do that, but they're doing it, and they're finding these things, and they're just more testaments that these things were going on. So these are contacts from the spiritual realm, and they're not evil. Remember, the way you tell is by their fruits. The judgment of their fruits you shall know them is as good for the spiritual side as it is for this side. It still works. Okay? So I'm not saying you don't want to go out there and conjure up somebody, knock on their door and make them come, because when you do that, you may not get who you think you want. But when God okays it and they come to you without any real hanky-panky on your part, you should still test the spirits. You should still test them, see what their intents are and what they're doing. But by and large, especially if it's a loved one and they're not trying to trick you to do something stupid like go pull an assassination or something, then you're probably all right. The contacts that I've had with I'll tell you another one that I had. I talked to Felicia about this, and I've had a lot of these. My brother and I did not get along very well. He was a political animal, I was not, and I stood in the way of some of his political ambitions. So we weren't on the best of terms most of our adult lives. He died on or about July 4th, 2016, and they didn't find him until about 10 days later. Okay, and he wasn't answering his phone. His kids hadn't heard from him, so they finally went to check on him, and he had died in his sleep. He had had a stroke. He didn't take care of himself. He didn't exercise. He was a cop, captain on the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office. Had been a presidential awardee, top cop of the nation in 1998, I believe it was, for his heroism. But at any rate, he ate too much pizza and drank too much rum and Coke. But be that as it may, he died on July 4th. Well, that night, I was laying in bed and he grabbed me and shook me in my bed. It was a physical shaking, okay? And he said this to me, "Roy, lighten up." And then he left. And I jumped out of bed and I went, what in the world was that? What in the world was that? I didn't find out for another 5 or 6 days that he had died, and it was that night. Okay? So it is possible. Now, another one that was bad, I'll tell you one that I had that was bad, and I knew it at the time. It was also after Carol died, and so, you know, I'm wary of both bereavement hallucinations and tricks by demons. So I'm laying in bed, and I keep hearing this really methodic, deep breathing. It sounds like Darth Vader, you know, it's going and it woke me up. Now I live in a place where there are deer and elk and wolves, and you know, so I was thinking, what the heck is that? Is that a coyote or something outside my window that's, you know, breathing hard? Man, you know, what's going on? So I laid in bed for a minute and I was trying to get a bearing on it, and it sounded like it was coming from the foot of my bed as I'm laying on my back on the right side. And I thought, that's not coming from outside the house, that's right there. So I'm not dreaming now. I get up, I go into the bathroom, I splash a little water in my face, and I come back out, and I'm standing on the other side of the bed, and I'm listening, and it's still doing that. It's still breathing heavily. Well, this spirit, this proves that they can sleep. Spirits do sleep. And, you know, we hear about, you know, the rest in peace and the sleep. And I told you about Bettina saying that she was resting and sleeping. Spirits apparently do that, both before and after the resurrection. It's, I guess, part of the way we're made. And so, anyway, this thing's breathing hard. And I'm going, what in the heck is this thing doing in here? So I thought it might be a friend of mine who had passed away some years before. But I wasn't sure. So, you know, I got kind of rude, actually. I said, wake up, wake up. I said, wake up. And the thing, I could hear it stirring, and it woke up. And kind of like going, like that. And I said, look, if you're a friend, you can stay. But if you're an enemy, you need to leave, like right now. And it left. All right? That was a problem. But we get the good visits and we get the bad. All right? All right, well, that's all I got for you. We could talk about a lot more of those, but I think that'll do. Messengers, angels are nothing more many times than just departed loved ones who have an interest in our well-being, and God sends them with messages. That's what a malak is. That's what an angel is a messenger, an ambassador, okay, an apostle even. That's all it means. All right, so we'll see you after dark. I'll show you the valley when the lights are up. Okay, what does that say? I had a demon say Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, they know who Jesus Christ is. That's why I say I did a video on that some time ago about, you know, saying Jesus Christ isn't a guarantee that you're going to get a demon to leave you. That's not a guarantee. It depends on how righteous you are. The name isn't the secret. The secret is that you take the name upon you and you become an anointed one, a Jesus Christ. The name itself has no real significance other than what you are supposed to become. You take those attributes of God upon yourself and you become a son or daughter of God. It's like that. Now, it was used as a magical thing during the first century by certain groups, and even the second century. It was a magical term, but the real important thing is that when you say in the name of Jesus Christ, because you have taken those attributes upon yourself and become one with Him. Remember what He said? Father, I would that the ones that you give me would be one with us. I am one with you, and you are one with me, and they, when they come, will be one with us. See? It's not one single entity, but they all have the same attributes. All right, we'll see you later after dark. I'll show you the valley and with the lights, okay? All right, take care out here.